On today's episode, we got the Skeptic Metaphysicians. Be right with you.
Welcome to Talking Junk.
I'm your host, Jason Melendez.
Live now every week on Fridays.
Talking Junk.
A multitude of professionals in different aspects, different walks of life.
You have to come on and talk junk like a normal person.
Welcome to Talking Junk, the podcast that comes to you live every Friday night from Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. How's everybody doing tonight? I got a great show for you tonight. We got two guests for you. So usually I have Talon on here and we're double teaming the guests. And now tonight I am gonna be the one on the other end of that. So let's welcome Karen and Will. How you guys doing tonight?
We are doing great.
Woohoo! It's Friday.
Looking forward to that double
Thank
team.
God.
What? And it has begun.
So, skeptic metaphysician, what does that really mean?
You go.
Well, the Skeptic Metaphysician, it's a radio show and podcast that we created that really dives into metaphysics, spirituality, esoteric stuff, the paranormal, all that kind of stuff. And it's I'm the kind of guy that needs to have proof. That when you're talking about metaphysics and spirituality and stuff, I want to believe. Like our intro always talks about the fact that we want to believe. We're like Mulder. We really want to believe, but there's so much crap out there that you can't just take it all for granted, right? You gotta you gotta show.
Sometimes face value isn't really what you should be worrying about.
Absolutely. So I'm a skeptic. I take these things with a grain of salt. I need to see the proof, feel the proof, really understand pragmatically how it works before I can believe it.
And I'm the gullible one. I believe everything. No, not everything.
Do you search for the answer, or do you do the debunking yourself?
Now we're searching for the answer. So I mean, this all came about because we are, like we said, we want to believe. I had a crisis, an esoteric crisis of consciousness about 2 years ago, right when COVID hit. And in my therapy sessions, I found that I needed a lot more than just therapy. So I started questioning the meaning of life and who I was and what's real and all that kind of stuff. And started looking into all these kind of crazy modalities. And I kind of dig that there's something else outside of this three-dimensional physical world we're living in. So we're looking into it to figure out what's out there, really.
And there's a lot out there.
There's a lot out
there. A whole lot.
I bet. So how long have you guys been doing this?
It's been just over a year. We just celebrated a year a couple weeks ago, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations. Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're thrilled. It's been a fun ride. Really
You get to meet interesting people.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's an understatement. Especially with this type of podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, your type of podcast you're referring to, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Now, what are some of your favorite episodes so far?
Gosh, we've had so many different ones. We've talked to hand analysts. We've talked to dream interpreters. We recently talked to someone who is a medium for pets, who speaks to pets in the afterlife. I mean, it's been really eye-opening finding out how many different modalities there are out there, and they are all so different. It's really hard to choose a favorite. And sometimes some of them are kind of out there.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked to ghost hunters. We've talked to hypnotists. We've talked to shamans, intuitive healers, Reiki practitioners, mysterious ninja-like healers, shadowy figures,
vampires.
Yeah, vampires.
We spoke with the light.
Yeah,
with the light.
Yeah, the guy says he's the light, and everyone who dies goes through him to go to the other side. I mean, we've talked to a lot of really interesting people, really way out there people, a lot of psychics, a lot of mediums, channelers. I did a past life regression that we put up on the air a while back. I mean, we had a guy who's talking to us about law of attraction, about how to manifest whatever it is that you want in life.
Right.
It's been interesting, really a lot of fun.
And so many of these interviews we go into going, oh boy, what's this going to be? And then we end up going, maybe.
Yeah. And then there's a time where you shut off the microphones and you make sure the computers are off. You walk outside the door before you even saw what the fuck was that?
Hell just happened.
Oh yeah, I've had a couple of those. Have you ever come across Bob Ginsberg?
We have actually. We interviewed Bob Ginsberg.
Great guy. So have I.
Forever Family Foundation, right?
Yes. Yeah. He has it's sort of similar to what you guys are looking for, you know what I mean? Except he's going to debunk these people.
Right.
Yeah, that was the interesting thing about him. So he believes in life after death, right? Because his daughter and his wife passed away, and he actually knows that they're out there on the other side, and they're living, or not living, but dead but living, right? Whatever. But his deal, as you know, is that he's tired of the mediums out there trying to
make a quick buck,
fleece people,
just play on their emotions,
trying to be con artists.
Yeah. So his Forever Family Foundation actually certifies mediums, so you can actually tell who's real and who's not, and that's what we titled the episode of the show when Bob was on, was how to tell if a medium is real or not.
And it's a really long process.
It's
like paperwork and all kinds of stuff that you have to go through. So
Bob's a great guy. Yeah, we love him.
Yeah. Now, what actually led you to doing all of this anyway?
Well, I mean, I've been doing this since I was in my 20s, really, my early 20s. I was living in Miami, and I was just going crazy. I did a lot of research into all different types of religions and things like that. I looked into Buddhism and Judaism, and I even joined a coven of witches. I went into look for Wicca. I looked into the religion of Wicca.
I would not picture you as a Wiccan.
He doesn't look the type, does he? Especially when he's in his tie.
If you see my fingers and the rings that I wear and the things, I can be a little wild. I just look like a
He's an after work wild guy.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, interesting. Wicca is very interesting. Not really my path, but I wanted to dive into it and really learn about it from the inside out. I didn't want to read a book about it, although I did, but I really wanted to feel it and go through the rituals. And I was with them for over a year, so that I was initiated into the coven, so I can get into the secrets, because they don't tell you the real secrets until you're initiated. Like the first year, you're just you're a neophyte. They're training you and things like that. So I went in, got initiated, got privy to a lot of the secrets, and went, yeah, no, this is not for me.
Initiated. Well, what does the process look like?
So you have to apprentice for a year and a day. That's the whole thing. And during that time, you're learning about Wicca. You're learning the history. I did learn a lot. I was raised Catholic and learned how made up the Catholic religion actually is. I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend any Catholics out there. If it works for you,
we offend Catholics all the time.
Okay.
An equal opportunity offender.
I was raised Catholic also.
All right.
If I take my hair down, they call me Jesus, which is in their whole thing is blasphemy anyway. So
no,
I understand.
So then So a lot of these the things that Catholicism actually expounds is stuff that they stole from pagans.
Right.
The Christmas, it's a pagan holiday. Easter,
Santa Claus is a product of Coca-Cola.
Well, yeah. The Holy Trinity, right? The Father, Son, and Holy Spirit is pagan. I mean, everything is pagan.
And most people don't even know the fact that Jesus' birthday is not even in December. It's like in September or something like that.
Yeah. And it just so happens that Constantine at the time wanted to find a way to convert a lot of people, a lot of the pagans, into Christianity. So he made the Christian religion as close as he could to the pagan religion, the old religion, which is Wicca, for all intents and purposes, and so that it was more enticing. And the word pagan just means country dweller. It's not like this bad, people who worship the devil or anything like that.
Not
Pagan
what they
just
made it
means
seem.
country dweller. Yeah, there was no devil until Constantine created the devil out of the god of the pagans, the god of the hunt. I mean, I learned a lot during this initiation, during this process. And then when you do your initiation, well, there's a lot of stuff I could tell you about, but I took an oath that said that if I revealed the secrets, all my tools would turn against me. So I'm a superstitious motherfucker. And
No, hey, I understand. I understand. I still, to this day, if I see a black cat, try to urge him away from me. I understand.
Oh yeah.
But no, it was interesting. It was really interesting, and I respect the living crap out of it. It's just not for me. Like one of the reasons why I didn't really follow religion is because rituals to me, it's too ritualistic. It's too dogmatic, and I couldn't fly with it. Wicca is very different, but a lot of the same things. Very ritualistic.
No, I was going to say, aren't there a lot of rituals? I mean,
Yep.
Right.
Very ritualistic.
You don't want to feel like you're in Bohemian Grove.
Right. I mean, there's something that I was always like, religion is kind of like ancient man worshiping the sun, right? That back in the day, and I didn't want to be looked at as a sun worshiper, like some ignoramus sitting on the side of the road here worshiping something that doesn't really exist, or maybe it does, but in Wicca, it was no different. They actually worship a god and a goddess, and it just didn't fit with me. It didn't feel right for me.
So, is it safe to say you guys have no religious denomination at this time?
Well, I mean, technically, we do have a religious denomination, but we're not. I'm not really a very practicing guy.
Oh, trust me, I understand. I believe in a higher power myself, but I don't practice anybody's religion.
Mm-hmm. I think in the research and the things that we've learned and what we've studied, at least for me, I've kind of taken little bits and pieces of different ideologies and religions, and I have my own way of thinking, and some of it's Christianity, some of it's not. I mean, Buddhism, Taoism, like all of that stuff I've kind of mixed in to make my own little happy place.
Yeah. I tell this story on the show all the time. Probably people who have heard the show have heard it. It's one of my favorite stories. When I was getting into this stuff, I met this guy who was unbelievably enlightened. The guy was, I've never met anyone this with it and this centered. And I asked him, how are you so centered? How are you so amazingly like Zen? And he said, because I know the secret of life. It's like, wow.
Was this Shankar Sain Das?
No, it wasn't him, although we interviewed him too. But no, there was he said, I know the secret to life. And I, of course, well, you gotta tell me. You can't just tell me that and then walk away. So he said, here, I'll tell it to you in a parable. And he said, one day, God was standing on his mountain of truth. And he's looking down on the planet, and he's really liking what he's seeing. So he leans over a little bit closer to get a closer look. And as he does that, he loses his balance a little bit and grabs his feet. And as he's doing that, a couple of pebbles from the mountain of truth fall down onto the planet. And as he looked down on the world, he suddenly saw all the people from the world running and grabbing these pebbles, raising them up over their heads and going, I have the truth. In essence, all they had is a little pebble of the mountain of truth. So you kind of have to put all those pebbles together the way that it makes sense for you in order for you to know what the meaning of your life is. And from that point on, that's my religion. We take little bits and pieces for everything we're learning on the show.
That's deep, man.
Right? Right? Yeah.
So did you guys meet doing this, or you just started together?
Actually, Will started the podcast. So I joined, 5 months maybe in?
Yeah, right around that.
Right?
Right around there. Yeah.
You roped her in just like I
I-
roped my wife in, huh?
I did. I
Pretty
totally
much.
snowed her, man. It was perfect.
She's
It was great.
actually running the comments right now in the background, and she does the Saturday night show with me too. So I understand.
It's so much nicer, right, to have someone to share this with, and I don't have to
Yeah, that's
always. I don't have to always worry about, oh my God, what's my next question? Because Karen bails me out all the time. It's great.
All the time.
All the time. Yeah.
See, that would be my Talon, but nowadays he kind of works late on Fridays, so he's solely on Saturdays. But it's okay. I try to pick myself up most of the time.
Yeah. No, you seem like you've been doing a good job.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I try.
No, the cool thing about Karen, actually, the reason why I'm so lucky to have her on the show is because she provides a completely different perspective. Like, I come at it from a very pragmatic point of view. Like, I'm the scientist. I need to know the whys and the hows. Where
Right.
she's much more about like hey, tell me more. Right.
Well, I've just had a lot of different experiences in my life that tell me that there's just something there. You know, whether or not it's the same as someone else's experience, that's not saying that there's nothing there. I mean, there's obviously something there. And Will, you could bang him on the head with a frying pan, and he'd be like, God, I wonder if frying pans exist. I'm not really sure.
Show me the money.
Yeah. The frying pan exists. I just not sure if it really hit me.
Oh, is that so I need to swing harder?
You know, I got a blockhead. You got to hit
that's
really
true.
hard.
That's
to get
true.
It. Yeah.
Take a run
I'm
at the
pretty sure Newton's head missed a lot of apples before the right one hit.
Yeah.
But,
So what is your biggest takeaway out of all of this, actually?
Well, in my experience, you know, so you do hear about all of the people that just want to, you know, play off your emotions and get your $100 for the reading, but actually the people that we have interviewed, every one of them, they're coming from a place of love, and they are doing what they're doing because they very firmly believe in it, but because they really want to help people. They want to help them grow or get through grief or, you know, manifest a better life. And just, it's all coming from a really good place. And they're all trying to build a very loving community, a supporting community. So that's been what my takeaway has been.
I've got two big takeaways. One is that we really do create our own reality. Right? Whatever's right for us, whatever we feel is the truth, it is for sure the truth. One of my favorite quotes when I was growing up, and I don't even know who said it or where it came from, but I adopted it when I was in high school, like before I even knew any of this stuff. And the quote goes, "The universe rearranges itself to accommodate your version of reality." And that, I mean, I liked it. I liked how it sounded, but I didn't truly get it until now. Doing this show, I totally get it because...
Especially after the manifestation guy.
Hell yeah. Right?
Oh my God, and that works.
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
Boy, does it work. Yeah, we can talk to you about that. But anyway.
Yes, behind the scenes, you need to let me know because I'm trying to do that for a little while.
Will do, yeah.
No, honestly, I think it has been working. Me and my wife, we listen to the manifestation tones at night to go to bed, and I don't know if she does it, but I have my little ritual on what I'm trying to manifest. So little by little, it's been working out.
I'll tell you a secret. There's a book out there that you should get. It's called The Moses Code. That book, it's a small little book, but it unravels the secret of manifestation. And it talks about, like, it pulls passages from the Bible that proves that this Moses Code actually exists, and it's just now being rediscovered. And it's all about manifesting and how to do it. And it is something that I'm starting to really dig into now, because what little I've used of it, it's been pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the one. That's it.
All right.
Yep.
Gotta have to bookmark that.
Yep. So that was one of the big takeaways, that sure enough, we create our own reality. So what's real for me may not be real for you. My big thing as a scientist has always been, how is it possible for these two things to appear or happen to be real in the same universe? It just can't happen. And then you start thinking about quantum mechanics and quantum physics and Schrödinger's cat, right? the cat that's in the box,
Right.
that's both alive and dead at the same time.
Because you
How?
don't know exactly what it is until you open the box.
Right. He could. So at one point, that cat is both alive and dead at the same time.
Mhm.
So that's what started me going, okay, I get it now. And there's different realities, different dimensions that people live in. And this same guy that talked to us about manifestation talked to us about reality transurfing. If you want to make your mind warp and go crazy, do loops, listen to that, because he's talking about we're living in a film strip and we just flip from one reality to another all the time, and that's really what's happening when we're manifesting. It's trippy. It's really trippy. But
I'm starting to think we use the same platform to get our guests. So all you gotta do is tell me his name and I'll bring him on.
yeah, the guy's name is Benji Shearer. I don't think it's the same. He's on the same platform that we're talking about, but I can connect you with him. He's amazing.
He's great.
I would love
He's
that.
amazing. Yeah, he'd love to come on the
He
show.
explains things so well too.
Yeah.
Like it's really complicated, but he really breaks it down into nice little bites.
Have you guys ran into Betty Kovacs yet?
I've seen her, but I've not yet invited her to the show.
Wonderful lady, you should.
Is she? Yeah. I did run across her profile, so I probably will reach out to her at some point.
So
then,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry. The second big takeaway is that everybody is talking about different things, right? Catholicism, Buddhism, Islam, Reiki practitioners, astrologers, past life regression therapists, psychic mediums. Everyone's saying they each have these messages that are sometimes diametrically opposed to each other. But when you sit down and you listen to the messages together, like we've been doing for the past year, man, they're all saying the same thing. They're using different words.
They're really all one piece of a bigger puzzle.
They're saying the same thing using different words. So the big takeaway is it doesn't matter what path you're on. Just pick one that makes the most sense for you. And you're going to get to the same place that everyone else is getting to, just in a way that makes sense for you.
Deep. Deep.
Yep.
How many episodes have you guys gone through already?
Let's see. We just published our 54th, I believe it is. 54th, 56th.
I think it's 54.
Something like that.
I lost count.
Well, we keep thinking there aren't going to be any, there's not going to be anything we haven't heard, and then lo and behold, there's more.
There's always something. Now, when I first started this, I was like, I'm getting people whose topics kind of sound the same. I'm gonna be repetitive, or I'm gonna be typecasted, and that's the one thing that I didn't want. You guys actually, you picked your niche and you stuck with it. I didn't want that. I didn't want a singular niche to define me. So I took this and I did everything. I talked to everybody on this platform.
Your niche is the non-niche.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
The obscure, because I'll talk about everything. Anybody that I find interesting, I ask to come on the show. And most of the time we connect. It's a great experience.
Well, it's cool because you're very personable. You're easy to talk to, and it's cool. You seem like us in a lot of ways, where we'll sit down over a cup of coffee or a beer or a shot of whiskey and talk to anyone about anything, and we'll have this amazing conversation. Next time we know, it's like 5 hours later. Like, Jesus, where the hell did time go?
Right. And sometimes I have to rein myself back on that, because
it's hard sometimes.
Really hard. Sometimes I can stay after an episode for an hour and just talk.
We've done that too.
Yep, we certainly have.
We've done that too. And then half the time it's like, God damn it, why did we stop recording? This is the best stuff.
This is the good stuff.
Yeah.
It's fucking content. What am I thinking?
Right. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Yeah. But no, what set, and I want to make sure that we get this out there. What sets our, because there's a lot of shows out there about metaphysics. A lot of shows out there, metaphysics and spirituality and all that kind of stuff. What sets us apart is that we have fun. There's so many of these shows that are like, so Reiki energy helps you clear your chakras, and they talk. I mean, it's very straightforward, and and very informational, which is great.
And that's another thing. It's for people who are kind of interested in metaphysics, but they don't really know, but they're not, but they want to find out. So this is like the gateway podcast.
Right.
You can listen to it, you can get information, you can have fun, and you never know what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, it's for those people who kind of think maybe they believe in this stuff, but maybe aren't sure or don't know how to approach it. To Karen's point, it's like a gateway drug into metaphysics. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's the training wheels into it, but that's even better.
Yeah, the gateway drug, because it's people who people who aren't who think this stuff is bullshit. They're not going to listen to our show because these guys, they're just talking about bullshit. But
what's ironic about that is so many of the people that we've talked to or we've spoken to that have quit their jobs and they're doing this full time were lawyers and accountants and the straight-laced individuals that you would never expect to be interested in this sort of thing.
Yeah,
it's really been an eye-opener. Corporation owners
they would not wear the rings.
Now they do.
Right. Yeah, no, it's a really good point. People who've been accountants who now suddenly read the Akashic records or throw tarot or do palmistry or hand analysis and there's all kinds of things. We had a lawyer, right? It was a lawyer, Karen, who was she a lawyer that had the near-death experience and came back and talking about
she was super religious.
Yeah,
that lady.
Yeah, there was one lady who came on who was super religious, and she started talking to us about her near-death experience, and boy. Yeah, she was throwing out all those tropes, all those Catholic tropes about abortion and
what
all that
hell's
kind of
going to
stuff.
be like, and
yeah, she went to hell apparently. She went to hell and spent a long time in hell and then ended up going to heaven afterwards, only to realize that she only went to hell because she really believed that she wasn't good enough to go to heaven. So her message was completely different than what we thought. We thought she was going to be pushing the Catholic agenda. But halfway through the interview, suddenly she flipped it on us and said, no, what I'm here to say is, you don't have to believe in the Catholic agenda, because if you believe that only person that is going to get into heaven is the most holiest of holies, you're going to hell, and you don't have to. You can decide that shit's not real, that you're going to heaven after you die, and that's where you're going to go. Wherever you think you're going to go, that's where you're going to go. Now, I almost stood up and started applauding, man. I was so proud of it.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds very enlightening. So not only do you manifest your wants and needs in the physical, but in doing so, you can kind of do it for your subconscious when you die.
Manifest your afterlife.
Right.
It makes sense, right? If you think about it, right? So all the messages we're getting is that we are so much more than this physical body we're in, right? We're energy, and we're living in the ether or whatever, on heaven or whatever you want to call it, the other side, and we come down to this planet, to this three-dimensional world, to go through lessons that we then bring back with us, so that we can remember. But there's a veil that separates this world from the other side, but if we really work at it, manifesting, we can make things happen. We can make miracles happen just with the power of our minds and our intentions and our thoughts. And that's in this three-dimensional world. So then if we are this energy that after we get out of this mortal coil, we are all powerful, why wouldn't our thoughts manifest in that world even more so than in this one? Right? I don't know if I just talked in circles, but it made sense in my head.
More like ovals.
It all makes
ovals.
sense. So what does that mean for the multiverse theory then?
Wow, we had someone that talked to us about multi-dimensions.
Right.
Not just not multiverse, but multi-dimensions. And apparently that's what ETs are, right? Karen, I think, was
trans-dimensional beings.
And that's where Benji's talking about trans-dimensionals or trans-reality surfing.
Yeah.
Karen was told, where are you from, Karen?
Oh gosh.
What's that planet you're from?
I don't remember. I don't remember. Polaris.
Polaris.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. So Karen's a starseed that came to this planet from Polaris, and starseed is someone that was originally from a different planet who came to this one to have a human experience. That's what she was told by someone in the interview.
Wow.
But I'll tell you this, Jason, and I'm no bullshit. I've said this to Karen, and she and I've gotten in arguments about it. And we just talked about this on, was it Tuesday,
Yeah,
Wednesday? Karen is, and this has been verified by a psychic medium. Karen is an angel walking on this planet.
Oh my God.
Yeah. She is.
Well, thank you for gracing me with your presence.
Right?
It's what I do.
No, she is probably the best human being I've ever met. Like, the love she has for other humans is, I've never seen anything like it before. You know, even we're stuck in road rage traffic, and I'm like, God damn, and she's like, well, what if maybe he's going somewhere, or maybe he's got a hospital. She's always looking for the reason why someone could be doing something, and always giving the benefit of the doubt. She cries when she finds about someone who lost her job, some complete stranger who doesn't have the love that we have. She cries for them because she's sad that they don't feel the love that we feel. I mean, it's mind-blowing to me, right? She is an angel on this planet in a human form right now.
You remind me a lot of my daughter then. My daughter is just like that.
Well, then I think your daughter must be another angel.
We think so too. She's the one we had right after our son passed. Well, not right after. It took a couple of years to even get to that point. But yeah, and we think the same thing. She's definitely lived a couple lives before.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss, first and foremost.
Thank you.
Hard.
That's that's not something I would wish upon my worst enemy, but he is the person that is all over my graphics on everything that I do. So that's why I do what I do. Make sure he's out there.
Wow. It's a great testament. Have you talked to one of the mediums that Bob has certified?
I have not. I've been real busy, and I think the site that I found you guys on is the site that keeps me busy. And every time that I send invitations out there, right now I think I'm booked out until June, so it's kind of hard to juggle. But I do try to get on as many people as I can on my Saturday show to do just that, to show us what they can do. You know what I mean? And other than that, we just talk about different things. Like tomorrow, we're going to talk about Michael Rockefeller.
Oh wow!
You do go all the way like that.
Yeah, we don't stick to one thing. We 1 second we have a owner of a sex shop showing us dildos, and the next minute we're talking about your child's favorite plaything. So,
ooh, yeah.
Well, one goes to the next.
Right?
But you don't want to.
No boundaries.
With a little oops in between.
Maybe a big oops in between. You know what I mean? Nowadays, you could get canceled for anything. So it is what it is. Yep. Feel free to try and cancel me. I got 3 podcasts. Pick one. Let me know.
That's the best thing about podcasts, right? You can't regulate podcasts. It's impossible to regulate a podcast. Radio, you can get censored. TV can get censored or pulled off the air. Podcasts, this is all independent. They can't shut down because if they shut you down on Apple, you're on Spotify. If you shut you down on Spotify, you're on iHeart Music or iHeart Radio or Amazon Music or hell, Podchaser or the smaller things out there, right? You can't shut you down. So
even Facebook is starting to stream your podcast now.
Facebook is starting to stream podcasts. Yeah. It's pretty amazing. It is definitely gaining speed. The challenge now is, as a listener, and I listen to a ton of podcasts. As a listener, is figuring out which ones are the good ones,
right?
Because there's 4.5 million podcasts out there, and it's hard to know which ones are the good ones. So you subscribe to them, and then after a couple of episodes, you go, yeah, maybe not my thing. And you pull yourself out, then you got to go look for them again. Kind of a pain in the ass.
That's also a reason why I didn't want to get stuck on one single niche, because maybe this episode right here, for whoever is listening or stopping by, maybe this is not the episode for them.
Right.
Maybe the last one was. Or maybe the one tomorrow will be, or
Yeah,
the
the-
one next week.
But this one is for everyone who's listening.
Right. No, it's definitely this episode.
Any
Any episode I put out is for everybody.
Right. But
Here for the
especially
people.
especially this
Especially
one.
this
Especially
one.
this one.
Yeah.
Especially this one.
Yeah,
And
this is-
all the ones on the website that you can find right. Come on, computer. You make me look slow. Over here.
Yeah, that's it.
Woohoo!
Yeah, it's our website. Yep.
God, I got to
There's
talk
a
to your
lot.
website guy.
Oh yeah, Jason, we gotta talk because this is so easy. I'm gonna hook you up, and it's gonna your mind's gonna be blown.
I did something sort of similar too. Right? You guys could check mine out a little bit later. But yeah, this is cool. Instead of putting there he goes right there.
Yep, there's
Yeah.
Good old Bob.
Yep, there's Bob.
Yeah. It was interesting. There was a point where we were actually going to stop our podcast, and you were kind of talking about how your podcast is for everyone. We were originally doing this kind of just for ourselves. We were learning and kind of taking this walk, and then it got to the point where it was a lot, and you know how much work all of this is, and so we're like, okay, maybe it's time to put it to bed. And we happened upon some reviews somehow. We didn't know even that anybody had ever reviewed it or rated it. And I don't. Do you remember, Will, where it was that we found the reviews?
Yeah, on Apple.
Was that on Apple?
Mhm.
And first of all, there were like 20 something, and they were, I think all of them were 5-star reviews. But we started reading them, and one guy, I don't know if it's a man or woman, I don't remember, was saying how this podcast has changed their life and how they just, thank you for this. And we were like, oh my gosh, it was such a heartfelt review. We're like, we can't stop now. If this is helping anybody, if it's helping one person or affecting anybody in a positive way, we got to keep doing it.
Yeah, so it suddenly became real, right?
Mhm.
So when I first started the show, honestly, it was a way for me to get my angst out into the world. And I actually, the first 4 episodes was just me talking into my phone about what an asshole I've been and what a terrible person I've been, and how I'm learning that I'm this terrible person, and I'm vowing to make myself a better person. And those 4 episodes I pulled off because they were so raw, dude. They were so raw and so out there that it was just too much. I pulled them out and then pulled them off, and then started doing interviews with people, trying to really find the answers that I was looking for. I really wanted to find the answers because I was in severe pain, dude. I had hurt the people that I loved the most in my life, and I needed help. And I was looking for help in any way that I could. And I looked into spirituality, metaphysics, and suddenly finding that there's all these people out there that are doing different things, that we're all looking for the same things, and it started making sense to me. But then, like Karen said, there was a point where we're like, it's a lot of work, and I'm taking time away from the family.
So much work.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But then once we saw the reviews, it's like, holy shit, we did this to help ourselves. But suddenly we're realizing, well, my God, there must be other people out there, based on these reviews, that are going through the same things that we're going through, and they're learning about themselves through our own journey of discovery. They're coming along on that journey and finding out about these things, and finding not security, but what's the word I'm looking for, Karen?
Oh, it's like misery loves company, like solidarity, or
Yeah,
what
you're
is
finding
that? Like you're not the
somebody
only one.
They're
right,
finding
yeah.
They're
You're
finding
finding
comfort.
comfort.
Yeah. That's it. That's it.
Those hard words.
Yeah. Yeah, they're finding comfort in the stuff that we're looking into, because there's so much. There's more out there. Like
Right.
this physical bullshit that we're living in right now. There's so much
Truth
more out
is
there,
Mhm.
and it's making people feel better. And
Mhm.
so we looked at each other and we go, we can't stop this show. If it's helping people just as much as it's helping us, we can't stop it. So that was like 8 months ago.
Yeah.
That was pretty early on on the roadmap.
How are you guys doing on your what do you use for streaming?
StreamYard.
Well,
Oh no, Zencaster.
yeah,
Right, now I'm getting work confused.
They
with
put your
with
podcast
this.
out, Fancaster?
no, we're hosted on Buzzsprout.
Buzzsprout, okay.
Buzzsprout
Yeah.
hosted, but we
How is it there? I'm on Anchor.
I like Buzzsprout a lot. Now Anchor's free, so there's something to be said about that. Buzzsprout, I think it's like $12 a month or something like that.
But they give you good things to monetize, don't they?
They do, not just monetizing, but their stats are outstanding. They help you get onto so many directories at like a push of a button. It's super easy. I know Anchor does too, but Buzzsprout does some that Anchor doesn't. They give you tools that you can use to help not just monetize, but get word out there. I mean, there's just so much. They help you to get your show be better. They connect you with Canva, which we do all of our graphics on it. It goes natively. It helps you put up your transcripts right there. I've learned a lot through Buzzsprout because they also have a podcast too I listen to, and they also have a newsletter. And if you're serious, once we saw those reviews, I became really serious about the show. So now our audio quality is second to none. Our website, we're trying to make it as good as we can, giving a lot of tools. We have a members only area of the website that if you join the community, the Skeptic Metaphysicians community, we have discounts from some of our past guests that you can go and you get 50% off of a past life regression or whatever it is. Because if you listen to one of our shows and you're really curious about something like this, we give you the ability to connect with our guests one-on-one at a discounted rate. So you're not paying these astronomical dollar figures to try to look into all these things. But we're trying to give back. So we're trying to help other people who don't have access to this information that we're suddenly now having access to because we needed it to help salve our souls. Now we're hoping that someone else can feel comfort from that as well.
Well, maybe that's what your whole spiritual intention was for, to not only heal yourself, but to help heal others.
Dude, you said a mouthful just because I've been told exactly that. So funny story. I've always wanted to astral project. I've always wanted
too.
Right?
Especially after Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Right. I've been trying to astral project, dude, forever. Like 30 years I've been trying. I've never been able to. Never, ever been able to. So no matter what I try, what modality I try, I'm just not good at it. It just doesn't come to me. I'm not psychic. I can't astral project. It's just not my thing. And I'm frustrated by it. And our early episodes is me. You can tell how frustrated I am. And Karen's jibing me because, dude, you're trying too hard. Or you're afraid because, I don't want to run into these critters out in the ether either, right? So
it's that whole manifestation. You have to know that you can do it, not want it. If you want it, you're always going to want it.
Well, I later on found out by a couple of people who are guests on our show that I'm actually supposed to be just a messenger this time around. And that's what this show is about, is getting these messages out to people. So maybe I'm not supposed to astral project this time around, but I'm supposed to get the word out about astral projection to people who can't.
Right. You're supposed to help others astral project.
Right.
Damn it.
Always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Exactly.
Trust me. Yes. Yeah.
Trust me, I
I'm
understand.
not bitter at all about it.
Not at all. Not at all.
I've always wanted to get into meditation and try to find, my zen. But if I go and I sit down and I try to meditate, I just fall asleep.
I suck at it, but I can't meditate for crap. But what was it? Oh gosh, what did we do? Was it the sound? Remember?
No, it was the breath work.
Breath. Thank you. I do remember. It just left my head for a moment. I'm getting old. But this breath work, we did this guided breath work thing, and oh my God, it was so intense. It felt like this huge high, and that lasted for an hour. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So try that. Try
like an Alaskan shaman, that kind of breath work.
Yeah, kind of. It was called warrior breath.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Warrior breath.
Yeah.
It's all on our site. So if you go to the breathwork episode, you hear a lot about it. And the guy who came on the show actually did a breathwork session with our audience. He did it like donation only, like $10 or $20 or whatever. And anyone who wanted to come could come, and he guided us on a journey. And it's set to tribal music, and I mean it's really
And
Oh, you guys need a Patreon.
Yeah.
I mean, the kind of cool thing about it is you're focused on your breath. Like you have to sustain this high level of breathing for a long time. So like with meditation, my mind wanders, or I'm doing my grocery shopping in my head while I'm supposedly clearing my mind. But with this, I was so focused on maintaining that breath and the rhythms of the music. It worked. I mean, for me anyways. So I highly recommend it. It sounds weird, but it's very cool.
And it just shows you what's right for one person is not right for another person. I didn't really get a lot out of it, but Karen, she took off. Whereas I've gotten other things, and she didn't really feel it on another thing.
Yeah.
So we had healers come on the show, and I immediately she's like, okay, close your eyes, and I immediately felt it to the point where I was like, oh my god, what the heck is that going on? And Karen's like, what the fuck?
I'm like, nothing. I got nothing.
Okay,
then I feel bad. Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, I felt
It
that.
sounds like Karen watched our Valentine's Day episode with Jack Jones from Sugar, and she put something inside of your underwear that she can control with her phone.
Oh my!
I've heard about those things. Yeah,
that's what she did to you.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
But no, I understand completely what you're talking about. I've had quite a few people on here do the same thing. Like this one lady, I thought she pulled my friend who had passed. But I believe towards the end that it was really my son who she pulled, because it was hilarious.
Wow.
She said, believe it was, you always think you get the girls, but I get all the girls. I take all the girls. And that's exactly what he used to do. Everybody's girl, my brother's girls, cousins' girls, anybody that my brother-in-laws brought home, he was the one that ended up with them.
Wow.
So it was pretty spot on. So I understand. These people are amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I had somebody read my spirit animal and tell me my spirit animal was a dragon.
Oh, that's a powerful spirit animal.
I would say so. I didn't even think that could be your spirit animal, but hey.
That's a good one. Take it.
Yeah.
I'm going to ride Falcor all the way through.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that if you listen to some of our episodes, you might be surprised by some of the stuff on there. We had a young lady. We actually ended up going on a virtual retreat right in the middle of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
It was all virtual through Zoom or whatever it was, and they had different people talking about different subjects. And one lady was talking about Kundalini. Have you heard of that term?
I haven't.
So it's like the energy inside you that that allows you to open up spiritually, right? It's a Hindu term or something like that.
Star Wars people would call them metachlorians.
Yeah, well, that's a whole other Lucas craziness. But don't get me started on Star Wars, because that's but she actually did something called the Kundalini activation experience, and she would play this music, and we'd be lying down on the ground, and she'd be doing these hand gestures or whatever, and Karen wasn't getting much out of it. In fact, it annoyed the shit out of her to the point where she left the room because she couldn't handle it.
And I never do that. Yeah. There was something. It was just off for me.
Right. Whereas for me, I had a vision that I died, and I was seeing myself in my in my grave hole, whatever.
That's a pretty intense vision.
Oh my god!
Your grave hole.
I was looking out, right? That's a whole other story. No, but
a whole other story.
Oh boy, here we go. But no, I felt the dirt being shoveled on me, right, as I'm looking out at the hole of the grave that was dug for me.
That was Karen kicking the carpet, saying, "Get off your ass! This sucks.
Take the trash out."
It might have been. But so I was really activated. I felt it really strongly. But Karen didn't feel a thing. And
you were activated. I was triggered.
You were triggered. Yeah.
Is there anything that you've learned that you took into your everyday lives?
I talk about meditation. I meditate every day now. Yeah, and in fact, if I don't meditate, Karen really hates it.
It's awful. It's day and night. I'll be like, go sit. And he, we've been together, 15 years, and he's only been meditating for the last 2. So I kind of feel like I got the shaft for the other 13 because he's a totally different person when he meditates, and it's so much better.
Yeah.
Me and my wife been around the same time together. I think we're going on 14, and I wish she wasn't listening to this episode. So maybe she's gonna make me go meditate now. I can be a grouch at times too. I can't though. I can't meditate. I fall asleep.
It's hard.
The same thing used to happen to me, dude. Honestly, same exact thing. And I found that there's a time thing. If I meditate in the afternoon, I'm crashing. I'm out. But if I meditate first thing in the morning, not when you wake up in the morning, you're meditating in bed, but I'll get up, I'll take a shower, I'll have my cup of coffee, and then I'll sit down and meditate right then and there. I don't fall asleep because my head is like getting ready for the day, but I get all the benefits without having to fall asleep during.
Just as soon as these nice viewers start paying my rent, I can do that, because right now, once I wake up, my meditation's getting through Florida traffic.
Yeah.
Where in Florida?
Just about 30 minutes away from Orlando. I'm in
Oh,
Sanford.
You're
Okay.
in Sanford, yeah. We know that area really well.
I was born in Florida,
Oh, okay.
Cape Canaveral, and lived in Orlando until about 10 years ago.
There's actually an event coming up here that I was invited to. I think you guys should look into it. See if you guys can attend. It's called Podfest.
Podfest. Yeah,
Yeah.
I heard about it. I told Karen, hey, Podfest, and she's like, oh, I don't know. It's Florida, But I do think we should go, Karen.
Well, then we
I
can't
was
tell
lucky
anybody.
enough to be invited, so it's
Nice.
Yeah.
sounds real good.
Yeah, I've heard it's a good show. I've heard it's a really good show. But I've never
I
been.
threw my hat in to try being MC, so let's see.
Oh, nice. Good
Fingers
luck.
crossed.
Well, if we go, we'll have to look you up.
Yeah, man. I hope you guys do. I'd love to chat at the pod. Maybe catch lunch after.
That sounds great. Yeah, Karen, that's it. It's done.
When is
We're
it?
done. It's in May.
It's in May, the end of May. I think it's like the last 3 or 4 days in May.
Yeah, I've heard great things about it.
Mhm.
And they say it's really good to network because it's all the podcasters go down there and they talk about best practices and all that kind of stuff. And it's a big networking event thing that it really helps people connect in the space. I think it'd be really beneficial for us too.
I can't wait. This is the first time I've been hearing about it, only because of Cindy. Shout out to Cindy with Aces Matter nonprofit. She heard about it. I guess she got offered some tickets and she blessed me with some. So she's an angel. She's a godsend. I'm glad I hooked up with her. Talk about fate. We got hooked up from a homeless gentleman in the street with a puppet.
Wow.
That is a story.
I say that's a great way to start. I'm just going to start other stories with that. That's awesome. That's a
insane.
perfect intro.
I'm driving home from
With a
work. He's
puppet.
on the medium with the puppet, trying to work for some tips. And
Sure.
I gave him my phone number. I said, you look like a great act. I'd love to have you on my show. Saturday morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, Cindy calls me, and I'm never calm and nice at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday.
You
But
answered?
I answered, and it wasn't my job, so I didn't freak out. And we just talked for like an hour about what she does, how we were so close, and the crazy way we were connected, because I think she has a funny story with that gentleman as well, and it all just connects to both of us meeting. So it's insane how the universe just weaves people together.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Everything happens for a reason. There's no such thing as coincidence. And
Right. I've been saying that to my wife for like the past couple months. That's been my mantra.
100%. And it all you need to do for proof is realize that you invited a homeless dude to come on your show that happens on a computer that has to have power connected in someone's home.
And now I'm going to Podfest.
You invited a homeless guy to come on a show that you need to have a home to be on.
That kind of flew over my head the first time.
I was
you know what?
wondering where he was gonna,
I
broadcast.
honestly didn't know he was homeless at first.
Okay.
He just
I didn't
thought
know
he was a
that till
random
she
puppeteer.
called. Right.
Gotcha.
Because you find characters out here.
It's
So
Florida.
you never know. People do crazy things for money.
Yep.
Just because he has, you know, a nice little puppet on the side of the road doesn't necessarily mean he doesn't have a smartphone and can't log into StreamYard.
Yeah, that's true.
So I didn't know any of this until Cindy called me, and then I found out he was a homeless man.
Fair point. And what I'm saying is that the universe
But that did it. It blew my mind just now.
Yeah. The universe kind of aligned you guys, right? It put you in a position to meet this guy who then connected you to her that now is bringing you to Podfest. I mean, it all happens for a reason. There's no
Right.
coincidence.
And her nonprofit just so happens to be in the same town that I work in. So it's
Yeah.
crazy how it works.
It really is.
But I gotta look through my roster and see if there's anybody that I have that you guys haven't had on your show, because your show is gonna get a couple more listens through me, because it sounds like it's right down my alley. I need to listen to some of these shits.
Yeah, I think you'll
I
have
need some
fun.
of that advice.
Yeah, I think you have fun because we give out really good information. The guests we have on our show are fantastic, really, truly, really knowledgeable people who know their shit really well. And we do it in a way where we don't take ourselves seriously, right? So we laugh a lot. We laugh with each other a lot. Our guests laugh with us. It's like we're sitting in our living room, having a couple of drinks, just talking about the stuff with people.
We're not trying to debunk anything. We're just listening to their story and their experience and their life. So it's really interesting. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Right. We're not Barbara Walters. We're just
Exactly.
trying to have a nice
Blah, blah,
interview.
blah,
Yeah, if you're looking for a nice show that's got great audio quality, that's just a few people just talking about really interesting, mind trippy shit,
blah.
and when it's not being so serious or hitting you over the top of the head with stuff, you might want to check out our show because we have a lot of fun.
Man, I definitely have to check it out, and we definitely have to have you guys back. Maybe we can get a couple of psychic mediums to come on with us, and we'll go on my Saturday night show. It's a little more vulgar. It involves a lot of liquor and stuff, but
Woo! I mean,
we enjoy it. We have fun. It's called The Break Room, where all the people that are starting podcasts on this network and have podcasts on this network just come once a week to let it all loose.
Wow, that sounds like fun.
It does sound like fun.
Count us in, man. Yeah, for sure.
We'll mark it on the calendar for one of these days, and we'll try to figure out exactly who we're going to get on, because we have to have fun. We have to.
Yeah.
Now, I had a lady on who was a love expert. Her name was Lori, and we did what was it? Lori's Love Lessons. No bullshit is what she wanted it to be called, and we just sat there and played. I think it was sexual trivia.
Cool.
Asking us questions and stuff. So it was pretty exciting. But I think that would get you guys off of your norm, because I wouldn't want to bring you on and then we do psychic mediums and it's just right around your wheelhouse and you guys have done it before. I'm going to look for something and invite you guys on that's going to be kind of exciting, because we've done it all. We've had DJs on, we've had bands on, so we're gonna find something good.
And you should listen to, well, who was the lady with the sex and the knots?
Julia Paulette Hollenbury.
Yes, that's interesting.
Oh, no. You're talking about Amber J.
Yes.
The
sex and
secret sexuality.
With knots and ropes and.
Yeah, what is that thing? It's a Japanese art of tying knots, but they use it for sexual purposes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And enlightenment.
Yeah. And wow. So Amber J is amazing. This lady is amazing. She's out in LA. She's really involved in the comedy scene. She stood up during COVID times. She stood up a charity event for stand-up comics who suddenly had nowhere to perform, and they were going homeless. Something like Comedy Gives Back, called Comedy Gives Back. Mm-hmm. And she knows a ton of people in the comedy space, but she's also like way out there spiritually, and she tries everything. She came on to talk to us about this secret sexuality thing. I forgot the name of the term, this Japanese term, but it was like wow. And she went into details with us about this guy that she brought on to teach her that practice, and wow, Yeah,
Mm.
that,
I am gonna listen to that episode.
I was gonna say.
Probably tonight.
and she would be the perfect person to come on. You want to have fun? This lady would rock your world. I'm
Right.
telling
She
you
could
right
she could demonstrate how to tie those knots.
now.
All right. It is a date. You send me the info, I will reach out and we will make this happen.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's
Yeah,
awesome.
she is. She is.
I don't want to take up too much more of your guys' time. I know your guys are busy and you should cherish your Friday nights. So thank you so much for coming on. And we will set the date and make this happen.
It sounds great.
Sounds great. Count us in. We are in.
Japanese sexual tying knots. It sounds just insane. It's right down my alley.